You grow up, you're dating somebody, but you can't tolerate each other, so you break up, you are so done, feeling like there's no intimacy for you to build in life. When you think about romance in anime, you typically picture how sweet having a romantic relationship is, and that it is a goal characters feel is worth pursuing because they, just like us viewers, are normally made convinced that romantic love is always a beautiful life-changing milestone, which thanks to that, they may shift for the better by experiencing happiness, or that guy or girl who's seemingly the love of their lives is able to turn them for the better through that relationship. Stories like this, nonetheless, grant many of us the idea as if romantic love is so crucial to build, and so be it, even if you are sacrificing something else for the sake of love. And I'm aware that you might be saying, well, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, this is the romance genre. This, however, convinces us of such an idealistic view where the pursuit of love life is dumbed down to just whether I have a partner or not, that we, as an ordinary law-abiding humans deserving of love, should focus on getting to be in a sexual relationship, regardless of whether you are actually ready or not in any way. Which, for most people with just enough testosterone, means they don't need to give a shit whether they are actually up for it or no, as long as they can flex that they're no longer a virgin or something. But the problem is, once conflicts arise, the so-called love is tested upon both of your faces, and you might wonder whether this person next to you is the right one after all. That sensation of love you once felt has faded. Is he or she is the problem? Or perhaps you are the problem? So you start wondering, why? Why is maintaining a relationship so hard when others seem to have it smooth? Well, other than fiction being fiction, which obviously shouldn't be your example, hoping that you'll back hot models by acting like a main character, I was glad to find what we are looking for here in the Ramparts of Ice. This show cooked so hard, despite airing in a season stacked with a bunch of amazing contenders, which I can't say enough in my Witch Hat Adelaide video. So, check it out. It's life-changing to me, I hope it does the same for you. We got ReZero Season 4, Witch Hat Adelaide, Slime Season 4, Wistoria Season 2, Ran a Girl. But speaking of romance these days, I'd be lying if I claim this isn't a saturated niche. And to discover another diamond in the rough is even way harder. I mean, come on, after all those hypes and emotional satisfaction, who's gonna see this and suddenly think, oh, this is gonna be great? I did. I know for a fact that I thought what you thought, that it seemed like one of those cliche romance, where there's this shy and timid girl who then meets a nice guy who's gonna break her out of her past trauma, and there's this same-sex best friend who's gonna help her get together, but oh, wait, there's another guy here too. So it's gonna be a love polygon where shit happens and they misunderstand each other, then someone's gonna cry where you could just seriously talk it out. The reason that further won me over was knowing the anime came from the author of Sei Hantai, which aired the previous season and was such an immaculate treat of cast and their dynamics. So I resorted in the one thing that Asian parents would do: child comparison, where I slide them side by side to see whether it's worth watching, and yup. It was refreshing for not literally shoving you into the romance plot point as if the cast are dating candidates waiting for the plot to pair them up, but rather works the justice that makes them human to begin with. Koyuki was someone living by herself with all the ice wall from the past, and it didn't change once she met the rest of the cast. There isn't any try hard to make it seem like it's a your name type shit where she or the other feel like they possess an inseparable connection afterward. It's more of a trigger move getting her to be even more conscious of the past more than anything, where she had to face those regrets, not because this was presented as a stage before she can proceed in the romantic race and get to date a guy, but because that's who she was, someone who was and is still troubled and wasn't able to forcefully fit in that environment, which has to be accepted nevertheless. The emphasis that comes with such a decision, although may appear subtle, is a reminder on how serious tightening an intimate knot is with someone. And having one doesn't rid her of the conflicts in life, but may potentially bring more of it, knowing each of them came with their own antics to take care of. Heck, one time I even read along the lines that the author had enough of writing things too deep that she decided to create her next work way more lighthearted. It's a long personal journey that doesn't try to be cheap on screen time just to dig deeper about herself. And from a romance perspective, it doesn't necessarily result in much progression, though only then does she finally get to enjoy herself with the others. This quote-unquote opening, along with the same pattern repetition shown from each our main circles, signifies the necessity to get a hold of yourself first and get personally settled before actually having a partner in life. Oftentimes, when it comes to these kinds of relationships, all people think is who will be the best coupled with that guy or how will he or she end up together. And it's not that it's a sin or anything, but over time it eclipses the reality that a person perhaps just isn't there yet. And by the time you realize how hard it is to accommodate two such unique selves, God forbid it's already too late. Which in all honesty is one of the reasons this story exists. It's breaking the ramparts of ice, yet instead of having someone do it for her, it's herself making the effort. It solidifies the need to self-introspect before anything else. Because what a lot of us ignore sometimes is that the healthiest relationship at its core is always about stability. It can be monetary, but essentially it's how and not whether you're able to commit with your partner. And what's the best way to love the other without loving yourself first? As with such a capability to begin with, you are at the very least won't be defined by the stages of your relationship, but by what you are. And it's probably not going to magically put you in a flawless relationship, no, nor will you finally get to date the perfect partner. Heck, it doesn't even guarantee you to match up faster than before. But I can assure you that whenever you feel like you've fallen into a problem in a relationship, it's gonna be different. Not because you will 100% figure it out, no, but now you're able to face it because losing a relationship doesn't equal losing yourself.